But many, but certainly, I would not keep the man from earning a living because of a stand he takes on an issue that's very important to him.
Yeah, I mean, and he did all he could do. I mean, he consulted, with a veteran even. It was because it was a veteran who told him to take a knee. That would be more respectful than just sitting down or take a knee.
Sure,
And so here he is. He's and it really doesn't have anything to do necessarily with veterans for him. What he's saying, he's just trying to draw attention
sure,
to it. And in
sure.
this climate, the fear in this climate, I think if someone brought Kaepernick back, I just think the guy over there in the White House would make that an issue. He'd be tweeting about that thing, and it would become something. It would blow up again. I think it would blow up all over again because of because of what's going on now in the country. That stuff still hasn't changed. In fact,
Sure.
when he took a knee, that's probably where you first kind of started noticing some of that stuff becoming more prevalent. I mean, we've always known it's been around,
Sure.
but from that campaign, that presidential campaign, and the
Sure.
things that went on in some of those rallies, and then you pile on 2016. Kaepernick starts taking the knee, and then it builds, and then it kind of died down some. But if this has the potential to start back up again,
Sure.
but I just don't see. I don't know what Jay. People speculating this, is he trying to get in and buy a football team and all that kind of stuff, and all of that is a sidebar. It's just puzzling to me to see him the way they rolled this out. I don't know if this is a problem. If his PR folks had to know that this was going to be something that they would that would jump on.
Sure.
And he's been catching hell, and
Absolutely.
Jay-Z's been catching hell, and everywhere. I haven't heard anybody say anything, that wasn't suspect. Kind of they're
Sure.
looking at him with a side eye, and I haven't heard him really, and maybe he has, but I haven't heard him say anything to address any of that, and I don't know if that's a
Right.
good strategy or bad.
Well, and there you have it, because you really need to hear it from the horse's mouth. You
Right.
need to find out from Jay-Z, okay, now that this deal has happened, you've made the announcement, let's hear from you. What is your plan? What do you plan to do now that you have, at least, we won't even say influence, right? At this point, we'll say now that you have access. Now that you have access to, the owner of the Ravens, the owner of the Patriots, all those,
Billionaires Club.
yeah, the billionaires club, the Jerry Joneses of the world.
Right.
What are you going to do? What's your, for example, what are your top three priorities? And
Right.
and how does that match with the top three priorities of the NFL? And do they mesh? And because now I know the papers are reporting that it looks like he is not going to be buying a team or having an interest in the team, because I know that
Right.
was the big rumor that was out for a while, and several of the news outlets are reporting that that's not the case. But I think that we really need to hear from Jay-Z. What are you doing?
Right. Right.
And I think folks on both sides of this issue are interested to know what his plans are.
Right.
Is he going to? Because when you look at the issues they were talking about: economic advancement, police community relations, criminal justice reform, education, entertainment, and you have to understand too, the NFL isn't stupid. They know that their ratings are down about 3%, for the Super Bowl, and I think we talked about it last year. We were talking about the Super Bowl. It's like, where are those big commercials we used to wait for that used to just set you on your back because you were laughing so hard? What happened to all that stuff? And also, you have the same team playing every year, and that's probably one of the things. It's like, well, why do I want to see New England play again? Now, not to hate on New England fans. They have a good thing going, but for the rest of the world, it's like, I don't want to see them play anymore. I've watched them, I've watched them all year. I want to see somebody else make it.
Right.
So, it's
I don't know. Maybe Jay-Z. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
Yeah, maybe Jay-Z felt because there was some kind of, settlement Kaepernick had with the league, a couple years ago.
Sure.
For some undisclosed amount. Maybe he thought it was done. And so maybe from a legal perspective and things like that, the situation is over. He settled with the NFL, and what's lingering is the perception of how everything went down, because there wasn't a whole lot of talk about the quote unquote settlement.
Sure.
That Kaepernick had with this collusion case. But maybe Jay-Z said, okay, now that's done, and we're behind. Maybe the rest of us, public opinion is taking a long time to catch up with what the hell is really going on. So if he reaches a settlement in 2017, and then they said this has been going on for about a year, so that gives Jay-Z probably all of 2018. So maybe there's something. Something else going on.
Sure. Sure.
Maybe Jay-Z's like, I ain't got to tell y'all nothing. It's my damn money. Where's your money? I'm doing this. This is my deal. I ain't got to tell you nothing.
That's right.
I'm hove, son. What?
That's right. That's right. Well, as always, we've got some comments coming in, and I have to start with my man Phil. And
go Phil.
Yeah, that's right. It's always good to hear from Phil. Phil says, I think there are two different issues. One must work itself out, as we have had to do throughout history. The other one must work its way through, and time shall tell. One must not overshadow the other.
Yeah, Phil is wise. He's
a wise man. That's right.
That's wise.
That's wisdom wise. There. I'm not gonna say age, because I don't want to have to deal with Phil, but I'll just say that's wisdom.
He'll just have to work his way through.
That's right. That's right. But it's always good to hear from Phil, and we always appreciate hearing from you, Phil. But I agree with what he's saying, is that we have to make sure that we give this the opportunity to work itself through. Now, if it turns out a year from now, it's like, dude, what happened? I mean, I don't see anything different. The league hasn't done anything any more than they had done already on criminal justice reform. We haven't seen any opportunities for economic advancement. Then I think we can all come back and say, oh, okay, Jay-Z, was in the Empire State of Mind, and he made himself a couple of extra bucks.
Right. Well, one of the things that Jay-Z was quoted as saying in all of this, he said, we've moved past kneeling, and I think it's time to get into actionable items. So that's clearly a nod to, look, I understand what you all are thinking about the whole Colin Kaepernick thing, and that was real. There was a time for that. Now it's time to move on to something else. How long do we want to keep doing that? And I've even heard similar things from the the younger generation. It's like, okay, yeah, the time for marching is past, but I don't think you're ever really done. I think they're different avenues. It's like playing chess. Each piece moves differently. The rook will move straight up and down. The other one moves diagonally. Some move one at a time, and some can run all over the board. But I think the question becomes, Jay-Z clearly is moving in a position, but I just want to make sure that he's on the same side of the chessboard as we are. Right. And that's that's it, because if he's got a different way to play, that's fine. If he's his piece moves differently than my piece, certainly he's got more pieces to play too. So, and there is something to be said about that there does come a time, like, okay, how long do we settle for kneeling? And the NFL clearly isn't making any other move. So what do we do? Do we just leave it in a standstill, or do we try to take it to the next phase and apply either pressure or open another door somewhere else? And but I don't think you have to I don't think the two are mutually exclusive. I think you can do both at the same time. Jay-Z can be working his stuff, and Colin Kaepernick can continue to kneel if he wants, but and people can march and complain about what they want to complain about. So the other thing that may happen with this too is Jay-Z and Rock Nation, they may give access into this arena for folks who have never had it, or who the NFL wouldn't have looked at on their own. So that's a possibility that you come in on the Jay-Z Beyonce bandwagon,
Sure.
and you might have an entree. I mean, hell, are you going to get Janet Jackson back to the NFL halftime parade, son? I mean, you let Justin Timberlake back. How come you can't let Janet Jackson back?
That's only if you fix the wardrobe.
Yeah, well, yeah, but
Yeah.
it was Justin Timberlake pulled the clothes. Janet didn't make the clothes, nor did she tug at him. It was Justin Timberlake did the clothes tearing, but yet he was back at the Super Bowl not too much longer, and Janet still ain't been back. Now she might not want to come back now, but I just remember, there didn't seem to be as much of an outcry on that end.
Yeah.
So I wonder if because those are things that still sit with me kind of funky. So I wonder if Jay-Z taking control or Rock Nation taking control of the halftime show, how different is that going to look? What do we expect? What can we expect differently than what we've seen before? So it'll be interesting, I guess.
Well, yeah, and you have to wonder, is this now another opportunity for folks from other communities to now have a financial interest in the NFL? Because it certainly is a closed network.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the ownership situation. So maybe this is another opportunity. And you never know, because none of us were in the room when they worked this deal out. But I certainly couldn't get mad at Jay-Z if he had the opportunity to own an NFL team. I mean, that's quite an accomplishment. And
right.
you would hope that with that opportunity, then other possibilities would be available for people of different races and creeds and so forth to have opportunities to also, make a good living in the league. Because you have thousands of people that are dependent on the NFL, from the guy that's selling peanuts to the guy that has the toilet paper contract at Bengal Stadium and so forth and so on. So, who knows what this will represent, but I'm just trying to be optimistic and hoping that this is a good thing and not just it's all about me, which it very well could be. And in that case, though, you have to say, don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah, really. All puns intended.
Well, absolutely. Who in the crowd, if they were in the position to do so, and you had the resources to do so, wouldn't want to own or wouldn't want a piece of or be a part of the whole NFL situation?
Right. Well, there's a disconnect for me, really. I mean, I don't know how socially conscious we can expect a billionaire to be.
Sure.
Black or white. I don't care what color, y'all. Once you're that's a different color. A billionaire is a whole different color. They green people.
Well, yeah, right. But when you look at Jay-Z's background, I mean, he came, he grew up in Brooklyn and all the other places. His mother's gay, and so he certainly is aware of a lot of issues that are facing our community. And
yeah,
you know what I mean. And now whether or not that translates into actionable things, only time will tell.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Do you move closer to that and do more with it, or do you move farther away from it? I hope. I mean, from what I've seen in the past, a lot of folks, you know how it is. Folks rise up and they get out and they get farther away. Whether they do it on purpose, or it just kind of happens that the air gets different where you are. The people you're around, your time, and it's still, you may get more money, but you don't get any more hours in your day.
That's right.
And so you still got the same amount of time, to do what you got to do, and there's a whole lot of stuff you got to do.
Absolutely.
So, tell you what, that's a problem I'd like to have. I'd like to have that one, but give me $1 billion and let me worry about the billionaire problems.
That's right, man. Because like I said, who wouldn't want to have that opportunity? And I think, and I'm just saying that if someone is saying not me, then come on, you're killing me. That you're killing me
Yeah.
because we all know that